It's time. I get up. Lose focus. Come on, be a gonna stay focused. Opportunities.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what? What's the scenario? Athi utshela ukuthi ukhamba bafethu or lesibini ngehora lesibini ungaphambili SABC 1 bafethu, the home of entertainment. Igama umebele leshomo njengoba ngithulela isiqephu esinyeke sesifani bafethu khona la ekhaya. Uyazimoduka sifaka endleleni. Speaking about indlela sikhona lapha eMintek. Sakunentokazi encane kodwa enamaphupho amakhulu. Ntsoaki bafethu intokazi ke efisa ukuba electrochemical and nanotechnologist. Can it even fit on the name tag? Othi ngichaze kafushane bafethu intokazi abisebenza ngento encane kodwa ezetha umehluko omkhulu empilweni zabantu njengoba ke akhanda amakhambi noma ke imithi engahle ke incede abantu abanesifo soshukela. Akehlangane naye ukuthi ayichaze bafethu simkhawule sinikeze ngenhliziyo emhlophe nazi ezakhe izibusiso. Ngithi Ntsoaki keep up my what?
Relationship yaka le my dad ineli ke hopola hanyane mara ntse ke le monyane back then, so marginally did flashbacks nyane hore how was it was ne ke le last born ko high, so ntungulungwe ne ke batla ne ke thola contact waka and then on I treat very special ka 1997 ntatwa kula hlokofala. I think I was 7 years of age. Only Tatanyana high because in Eliana the breadwinner, and my mom was a domestic worker, and my brothers were still in high school. In Elia also school.
It was very tough to an extent. Then I had to drop out. So I told him somewhere go Eastern Cape, working Queenstown. Got to Transnet as a pharmacy assistant.
At feta matric, kilaba frustrated. Hobani nekisna child register, nekisna bazari at all, and Hoya varsity it has always been my dream. I got out the results. Ononali teacher mo bareki Mr. Ntako. And then abang phone no ska worry, everything's gonna be fine. And then abang phone are kikato krea call ko HOD are obatla the best performance. Abasa need results. Ka okay, and then come send the results zaka adisendela go Free State provincial government. And then a day after that I got a call. And then the HOD called us like, congratulations, you got the bursary. Sign a contract. It's like when I finished my junior degree, can you continue get the honors? I continued my honors because I was sponsored by Free State provincial government rather, from first year until last year. I did my honors in 2013, take sponsor and then I get a masters and take support and first year I get a masters. I won award the best presenter. It was initially a research day, the faculty research day, where all departments, the Faculty of Agricultural Science and Technology, by presenter, master student, honor student, PhD student. And then after that, Kimo have supervisor yake ilasa just no. I submit the abstract to an international conference. And Kimo Gila submit the abstract yaka to international conference. IEC International Electrochemistry Symposium, and the conference was held in Brazil. And it got accepted for oral presentation, not poster presentation. And okay, I was excited, like, yeah, I'm going to Brazil. And yeah, I went to Brazil. I think it was 2015 around March. Yeah, and we went to Brazil. I presented my work there in Brazil.
Ntsoaki Brazil, actually. I wanted to call those people who need an escort. He's still young. Why they don't take me along? I want to then I led the conference in Brazil. We were everything. I was very proud. I took her to the airport. Did I? Yes, I did. I did take her to the airport and then camouflage and wished well. It was a very proud moment for the whole family.
After getting ka master's yaka, I thought for it like a break, and then cause next Sabbath for ke tswele pele like immediately ke tswele pele ke tsa PhD. Ne ke batla nka like break ke bona re ke let me try to apply for a job, and then I applied for a job and there was no luck. And kimo ke like a call invitation interview for Mintek for internship, and then I went for an interview and then I got it. And Ntsoaki Mintek, I think Ntsoaki Mintek ka May, because I got this little Mintek ka May. I got like that's when I got a letter that says where my master's work is being accepted to Science Report Journal, and it was published.
She was in an African newspaper, I think from Potchefstroom, because Kamastase went some device where it can actually detect Parkinson's disease and that. We're very proud. She's got a lot of accolades, really. The certificate, the best what go honors high, the best student, winner happily, the only black female, I think, University of Northwest, their masters. So accolades are becoming common.
Currently, I'm still doing my internship at Mintek, and then tomorrow I'm going for an interview. Interview that will decide whether I stay in Mintek to continue with my studies or I leave the company at the end of my internship.
I wish her all the success, and I'll tell her to be confident the way she did when she went to the other interviews. Just be herself, and everything will just flow.
If I stay at Mintek, it will mean a lot to me. It will mean a lot because at least it will show her they appreciate the work. Since I started my internship, I've always just wanted to pursue my studies. Then I will look for a sponsor elsewhere, and then I will go to university and continue with my PhD. Certificate mo Mintek for interview yaga. I'm a little bit nervous. It's like I sure what to expect and I sure how it was jwang. But anyway, wish me luck.
Good morning, Ntsoaki. Welcome to Mintek and thank you for joining us today. My name is Shreya Hamilton Baloy. I am the Head of Organizational Development and Training at Mintek.
And I am Dr. Amanda Skepu. I'm a Principal Scientist at the Nanotechnology Innovation Center at the Advanced Materials Division.
Okay. So you're being interviewed for the position of scientist. We'll be asking you a few questions from both a behavioral point of view and a technical point of view. And we're really looking forward to learning more about you. So let's start with the easiest question. Please, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, my name is Ntsoaki Mphuthi. And I attended Northwest University. That's where I graduated with masters last year in 2016. And currently I'm an intern here in Mintek. I work in Material Science Division in Nanotechnology Innovation Center group. I'm a very motivated person. I'm a hard worker, and I make sure all the time whenever I do my work I meet expected results.
So can you let us know what's the one accomplishment that you're most proud of and why?
My one accomplishment that I'm most proud of is last year in 2016, after I finished my master's degree, I got a certificate of recognition from Northwest University as the most outstanding master's student in Mafikeng campus.
Wow, that's impressive. Okay, so can you tell us then what motivates you to give your best?
What motivates me to give my best is when I'm involved in a research that has a huge impact. There's research that will give visible results and have an impact in the community and help everybody, and also working with experienced professional scientists that helps me to grow. That helps and groom me to become a better scientist.
Okay, thank you.
Can you tell us about your understanding of nanotechnology?
Nanotechnology, I understand, is a branch of technology or in science that deals or studies with the application and properties of materials at a nanoscale, like very small size. For example, when you take a ruler and you measure a centimeter and you go down to millimeters, that point in millimeters, you have to cut it like in a very small 1,000 times. And if you take a meter, cutting 1 billion times to become to a nanoparticle. And it's very, very small, but it's not visible to the naked eye. Yes.
Here at Mintek, you may know, we work with gold nanoparticles for downstream applications. Can you tell us how you would synthesize or make these gold nanoparticles from bulk material?
How I would synthesize from bulk materials, I will use the top-down method of synthesizing nanomaterials, where I will start with the bulk. Either it will be a bulk or raw of gold or a gold salt, and use a reducing agent that reduces the size to a very small particle up to a nanoscale.
Okay, last question from my side. Can you tell us about the applications that you may know of nanotechnology?
Nanotechnology can be applied into different aspects of life. For instance, it can be applied into medicine and drugs, where if you use nanomaterials, you can be able to for instance, maybe in cancer therapy, where you use nanomaterials to target the cancer cells directly without affecting the neighboring cells that are not affected by the cancer.
That was really informative. Thank you for all of your answers. We'll now move on to the next phase of the interview process. You will be meeting with a mentor who will be taking you through 3 tasks. Once you've completed those tasks, you'll then meet with your mentor for some feedback, and then we'll meet with you to give you the outcome of our decision.
All right.
Thank you. Good luck.
Oh, thank you.
ho finyella master's degree kapa efeng ho obvious hore o motho ya leng motivated ya sebetsang ka thata and motho ya ineetseng. Ntsoaki yena o ne a se tjena boqalong le yena o banile le diphazamiso tsa hae tje ka rona kaofela empa a fetola ditsela tsa hae e leng se le rona re ka se etsa ha e ka ba re ya batla. Bongata ba batho ha ba elelle gore di-bursary di ya ka di-province and hape di-marks tsa hao tsa high school di a shebiwa ha se ho tlonkiwa qeto. Ha e ka ba o batla ho tsweletsa career in nanotechnology o hloka postgrad empa sa pele sebetsa ka thata ka tsa maths le tsa science o enroll o thole BSc ya hao then o tla thola postgrad ya hao. Le ha tsela ya hao ya katlego e le telele empa ditholwana ke tse sa feleng. Mohato wa hao o tlamehang ho nka tseleng ya hao ke ho nka step sa pele.
I'm Dr. Mphuthi from Mintek. I'm from the Advanced Materials Division under the NIC, which is Nanotechnology Innovation Center. I'm a principal scientist there, and today I'll be the mentor. Hello, Ntsoaki.
Hi.
Welcome to Task 1.
Okay.
We are in the main lab,
All right.
where we do a lot of synthesis.
Okay.
So in this case, you will do synthesis of nanoparticles. As you know, there are two approaches. It's either you use the top-down or the bottom-up. In this case, we'll use the top-down approach.
Yes.
So you'll start with bulk material, then you reduce it to the nanoscale.
Okay.
So what is expected of you in this task is to get nanoparticles of metal oxide.
Okay.
Yes. So by the end of the task, then you will use those metal nanoparticles to the next step.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Gee, what are you gonna do today, brain? The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world. Yabona le ngaba sibafisa amakundwane elapho. Ngabe nguPinky yena awu the brain. Ngikhuluma ngaye ke ihasa lethu uNtswaki bafethu intokazi ehlakaniphe kakhulu scientist bafethu and he's trying to change the world bafethu ngalo msebenzi awenzayo khona lapha eMintek. Kodwa ngaphambi sibone ukuthi ashaya itask yokuqala awuthi ngithatha ingqondo zenu bafethu ngifake under a microscope ngibona ukuthi ngabe ke zineno njengama particles or what njengoba nginikeza iword jumbo lethu yakule viki ngikunikeze ke amaletha wenu amabini bafethu which are R and C sizokuqedela ke igama uthumela kumsafazo khona lapha nokuTwitter na kuFacebook khona manje kusambe sobona Ntsoaki asikhombisa ukuthi kahle kahle yenziwa kanjani lento noma thi this is how you do it.
Hi, Ntsoaki. All right, welcome to task 1. This will be your first step of the task. And while you're doing it, please take me through all the steps, what you are doing and why you're doing it.
Okay. Okay, you need to start the scale so that you make sure you don't weigh the metal salt with the weighing pot.
Okay.
When you're busy preparing your nanoparticles, what you have to bear in mind is the amount of your salt they're using and the amount also of the reducing agent that you'll be using.
So what kind of mess are we targeting?
11 gram.
So nanotechnology, it's a technology where we use nanomaterials to achieve a specific goal. For example, let's take you want to increase space in your hard drive. Instead of using magnetic materials as they are, you will break them down into the nanoscale. Then you can store more information when your magnetic materials they are in nanoscale.
So when we're done, we're gonna dissolve our metal salt in the ionized water.
Okay. Let's step tibalekile ukuthi prepare ku task 1 ngoba you need to get reproducibility. What Ntsoaki did today if we were to give somebody else the same recipe, she'll be able to repeat the test and get the same results.
So after weighing your metal powder, what's next?
After I've measured this, I'm gonna pour it in here and dissolve it in the nice water.
Okay.
Yes. One thing that made me to concentrate and choose a career in science is because I like how things are done. How like you should know how things are done. You're also curious about how things operate. How do they change? What happens? If you're taking a water, what does water contain? What types of molecule makes it water? So from now we're going to perform the experiment in the fume hood.
Okay, why the fume hood?
Because we won't want to be smelling whatever byproducts that will be coming out of this reaction. Yes.
All right, good. The position so I apply like Mintek, it requires actually a person who has a master's and has an eye for detail and has a little bit of understanding of nanotechnology and the processes that are undergone when one has to reduce material from bulk to nanometer scale. And then beyond that, you need to know about the application of the nanomaterials in the real world. How will we tell if the resolution agent is working?
You will see with the color change. There's supposed to be a color change. That's when you will know the reducing agent is working.
Okay, what color are we targeting?
A black color.
Okay.
With the nanotechnology, it feels very exciting because it's actually a new field that is, it's not new, it's been developed way back, but now it's currently progressing at a very high speed. It is actually being used recently to meet the requirements of the public out there. And it is used to solve problems, current problems that we're facing right now. Even the water problem, the shortage of water, we can actually apply nanotechnology to solve that problem.
At what point do you realize then that the color won't change and maybe you restart the experiment?
Like now that I've already put on a lot of it.
So you think this was not a success?
No, it was not.
Okay. You will prepare another solution. Do you know what you've done wrong? What do you suspect?
What I suspect happened is we didn't wait for the salt to dissolve completely in water. Do you hear the sound that it's making? It means it's still settled in the water.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we can allow the salt to dissolve completely in water, then add the reducing agent, then we'll see a complete color change.
Okay. All right. As Mintek, we normally do toxicity studies on most of the materials that we work with, and when we are working with a bulk material, which she did when she started, even if it was to contact your skin, you will not get irritation or it will not affect your long-term effects on you.
We're going to be centrifuging this.
Okay.
To make sure the particles settle at the bottom to separate the liquid medium from the solid medium.
All right.
My mentor in the whole task, he helped me to pay attention to small details, things that you wouldn't even consider when you're performing an experiment. So that helped me a lot, and they are very important because that can affect the result you might get at the end of what kind of particles you're going to get or whatever byproducts, and then how you should pay attention to safety and all those kind of things. So we're going to centrifuge these particles for 15 minutes to make sure the solid particles at the bottom.
All right.
And we only have the liquid medium on top.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. So it will be clear that the solution is on top and the solid particles are down.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Ku-task 1 ngibona ngathi Ntsoaki wende kahle, actually ufollowe wonke ama-procedure la followishako umsebenzi elebhu. She also paid attention to the health and safety by wearing gloves and goggles where it was necessary, and also wasebenta ku-fume hood ukuze ukuthi ama-fumes which comes from the experiment she's conducting doesn't impact ku-health yakhe. So she worked very well.
This is what we get. This is our particles settled at the bottom, and this is our the liquid that is remaining.
Okay.
Yes. Got task 1, I think I did very well. I did fine. I did what was expected of me. I managed to get the particles and we managed to use them further.
All right, so that will be part of task 2.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Ntsoaki o na le botsebi bo phahameng ka tsa science, technique le bokgoni ba puo. Tasking ena re bona procedure le bohlokwa ba elohloko ho ya ka di-steps kaofela. Ka nnete sena ke cream ya dilemo-lemo ya tsa dithuto. Naheng e tshwanang le South Africa, nanotechnology ena le menyetla e phahameng hore ne maphelo a betere, metsi a bolokehileng ene hape a hlwekileng. Ha e ka ba le wena o na le kgahleho, o tlameha ho bana le kelello e tletseng ka dipotso, analytical skills ene o rate dipatlisiso. Tasking ya hae ya bobedi e latelang, bokgoni le tsebo ka tsa di-instrument le ho kgona le ho sebedisana le batho ditekong.
Okay, Ntsoaki. Now we're going to do task 2. So you will characterize the nanoparticles you've grown from task 1. You use the transmission electron microscope, which is TEM. So I've arranged with a technician to meet you in the TEM. He will help you with the characterization. Okay. All right. Ntsoaki, welcome to task 2. We'll be doing characterization of the nanoparticles. Meet Mr. Ntsoaki Mphuthi. He'll be helping you with your analysis.
Hi. Nice to meet you. I'm here to characterize my nanoparticles. I just synthesized them. I want to check the size and the shape, maybe physical morphology and how they look like.
Okay. So you can prepare your sample, then you put it in. Yeah.
What my mentor asked me to do ke hore ke tlameha ho characterize the nanoparticles tse ke di synthesizitseng hore ke check hore di jwang, hore shape ya teng e jwang, size ya teng e jwang, hore are they round or are they square or are they rectangular. So task 2 it will use an electron microscope.
Do you perhaps know why you have to use a grid?
Yeah, a grid is where we put in our samples. So we cannot use a bigger thing because since the machine has to look into very, very smaller, yeah, that's where we use the small grids.
Yes. The transmission electron microscope or TEM ngalokufishane isebenza ngalendlela. So you have a beam of electrons. So adlula to a sample. The sample should be very thin so that the electrons can pass through. Hence the word transmission. So the electrons they get transmitted through the sample. Then they get picked up by the detector. But while the electrons are passing through the sample, then they will image the path which it traversed. So it showcases like atoms. So we can see the particles on the screen.
So at the moment you have your sample in, you have everything set, and the images that you will get, where we use a camera to be able to see the information that you are looking for, and this is the image that you will get all the information you are looking for.
The challenges that I faced in task 2 was that I didn't actually get size and I expected. I got much bigger size of the particles. but then in future I will adjust the method to synthesize the particles so that I get the particles that is very smaller.
You'll be able to get all these images that you can be able to take with you and be able to process them. You can use any form of software to be able to generate those particles that have been measured. Then you can be able to report them back.
Okay.
Nanoparticles and extension so wow. I would say nanoparticles, since if material you break it down into that scale, it starts having peculiar properties. For example, we know copper conducts electricity, but if you look at copper in the nanoscale, you might find that you have increased its conductivity of the same electricity. So, nanoparticles in health, we can use them for diagnosis of diseases in the health-wise. So, like determining HIV status, you can use nanoparticles for that. And we can also use it which is clean emanti ngawo. Njengoba sathi ukuthi South Africa sinenkinga yemanti. So we can use nanoparticles to clean water, the water that we use maybe from the rivers or from mining companies, they can clean their water using nanoparticles.
I'm happy with the results. Although I see I have much larger particles, I was actually looking for a very small size, a range from maybe 20 to 50 nanometers. So I will actually have to adjust some of the parameters while I'm synthesizing to be able to get like smaller particles. What causes the particles to be bigger than expected is because sometimes nanoparticles, they tend to agglomerate. It means they are attached to each other because since they're in the nanoscale, their characteristics, they are very active. So they are attached to each other and tend to form bigger particles.
I'm also happy with the quality of the images, and I like the fact that they are monodispersed, so you don't have a lot of clustering around the particles. So I think, yes, we can use the sample now to the next task. All right.
Go task 2, kibona hore kisebedisa hantle. I managed to prepare my sample correctly, and the technician was able to help me to get the size, the shape, the particles that it is synthesizing. And these particles were uniformly dispersed. It means they were synthesized correctly, and there was no much of agglomeration, and they were in a uniform shape.
Ka nnete thuto e ho tlosa lefifing ya ho isa leseding. Ha o le motho ha o so finyelle matleng a hao kaofela ho fihlella o ruteha. Ka tsa dithuto, di-university ka bongata ba na le tsona di-postgrad tsa nanotechnology le dipatlisiso tsa teng. Di-bursary le di-scholarship di a tholahala mane ko di-programmeng tsa National Research Foundation. Wena qinehela hobane tsela ya hao ha ile thata hangata isa dipallong tse ditle. Tasking ya ho qetela Ntsoaki nanoparticles di tekong ha mmoho le bokgoni ba hae.
Welcome to task 3. This is our last task. So with everything you've done in task 1, task 2, it will lead us to this task. Okay. We will be working with screen printed electrodes so that we can look at electrochemical conductivity of your nanoparticles. Okay. So what we will do is we'll try to introduce your nanoparticles on top of the screen printed electrode. In this task though, you will only be printing the electrodes. Then we'll do the measurements on the electrodes afterwards. Okay. So these SPEs are very important because sometimes we have clients that are ordering from us. So we do sell it to clients. So they are very important. So for us, we are mostly interested in them because we can actually use them to study the glucose level in your blood. So we can tell whether you are diabetic or pre-diabetic. Okay.
I'm a nanoparticle, so ends again. Hey, boy, but it does got John Cena. You can't see me under a naked eye. But I must under a microscope. One and Jegate, Jabba Ntsoaki as Combisine. Got a boom, maybe swimming car, when it comes to the word jumble. So I think niggas another clue, which is the letter T. So you must be able to keep it. I don't is it like a doctrine. I can tell you, yes, like a PhD. But right now, miss me not. I'm just taking a short break. I'll be back now.
This is our printer. It's the one that we will use to print the electrodes.
Okay.
All right, so you can begin.
Okay. Firstly, we're gonna start with the carbon ink. Yes.
With task 3, the expectation in Ntsoaki was for her to realize and test the uses of the nanoparticles that she has just characterized. So what is it doing now?
What it's doing now is printing the carbon. It's printing the carbon layer on the clean white sheet.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, can you please? Okay. Now the process is done. First time when I did task 3, I had an assistant, somebody who would help me how the machine works. It was very challenging because you need to change inks all the time. You use different inks at every different stages.
Okay, Ntsoaki, on this part of the task, you will use now your screen printed electrodes. So we will test the bare electrode and then we will test another one that you will have nanoparticles on them.
All right. What we're gonna do, we're gonna take one, our nanoparticles.
All right.
We're
And
gonna.
this is the one that you just centrifuge?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We're gonna drop dry. We're gonna use a drop dry method, where we're gonna pour at least 2 microliters on top of the working electrode.
Okay. Printer my electrodes is I would say 3-step process. So you have various layers that you are printing. So you are looking at maybe 3 hours in total to get good quality electrodes.
Thereafter, when we're done, we have to let this dry in the oven for about 5 minutes at about like 30 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
Okay, we can go try this one out.
All right. So with nanoparticles, we put them on top of a substrate, we put them on an oven to dry off the moisture, and if there is water also, so that it can dry off and leave the nanoparticles. So that when we introduce any other material on top of the nanoparticles, we know we're measuring the performance of the nanoparticles with that material, but not influenced with maybe moisture or water on the sample.
We're gonna drop dry. We're gonna drop a solution here to check if we get any electrochemical response.
Okay.
Both on modified and non-modified. Then we're gonna be able to check if really our nanoparticles are electroactive or not.
All right.
Okay. What I was doing today, task 3, doing electrochemical, it was actually related to what I did when I was doing my master's degree, because I actually did electrochemical sensors, but I was working with different analytes like neurotransmitters. So here, what we were trying to do, we only did the characterization method, where we used the electrolyte to check only the electron transport property. So our measurement there is done.
Okay. And what can you tell us what you realized with the measurement?
What I realized with the measurement is that the electrode didn't pick up anything. We don't see any peaks or any oxidation or reduction peaks on this curve. It's just like a plain curve.
Okay.
Yes.
So you would say no selectivity or connectivity?
There's, yes.
Okay.
If you can check these 2 graphs, second one has a very high electron response compared to the bare electrode. So when this happens, we can see that, okay, from now, our nanoparticles are electroactive and they are more sensitive. It means they're giving a very high current response. So now we can use them to detect any biological molecules.
Task 3, Ntsoaki did very well. because she did all the measurements that was required and she understood what we were targeting and what we expected. So she also did a very good comparison between the bare electrode and the electrode which had nanoparticles on it.
In 5 years' time, I see myself here in Mintek, done with my PhD, maybe progressed in my career, having a very huge career growth, and maybe being promoted.
Actually manufacture a device that I can give it to my grandmother to determine whether she has diabetes or not.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, that's quite interesting, and it's exciting, the fact that it's applicable out there in the real world. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Ntsoaki. It's been a long day. How did you find your tasks?
The tasks were good, very informative. I've learned a lot and I managed to complete all of them.
Based on the feedback we've received, you've met all our criteria for a scientist at Mintek. Once your internship comes to an end at the end of this month, you'll begin as a scientist at Mintek. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So, do you have any questions for us?
As you know, guys, I've mentioned that I'm an intern here at Mintek, Department of Science and Technology and National Research Foundation. Do you guys offer a PhD scholarship for your employees?
Yes, Mintek is very dedicated to the development of our employees. We offer bursaries on a part-time basis for our employees to take up studies that meet with what Mintek's goals are. So yes, we definitely do offer PhD bursaries for our employees.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. We're looking forward to you coming to join us. As soon as the internship is done, we will see you as a permanent employee at Mintek. Congrats again.
Thank you.
Congratulations once again.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right.
I'm just coming back from the interview right now. I finished all the tasks they gave me and everything went well, and thank God I got the job. So now at least I can be able to continue my studies and do PhD, and I can also afford a lot of things, my car, a house, and I can also be able to take care of my family. So to all the hustlers out there, don't forget, press up, push up, panda.
Well done, Ntsoaki. Ka nnete re bone ka wena gore mesebetsi e metle ha e phethwe ka matla empa qenehelo. Potso ya rona ya beke ena e tswa ko Rhino. A re yena o na le kgatlhego ya ba advocate. Di-advocates ke batho ba tshwereng di-case tse fapaneng mane ko court. O ka ba lawyer, wa ba judge, kapa wa ba legal advisor. Wena he, o tlhoka matric wa exemption o tla o dumellang gore o etse degree ya hao ya Bachelor of Law. Ho tloha moo o tla etsa LLB. Ha se o qetile he, o ka kgona ho applyela mane ko High Court. Ho fumana ho hongata e kopanye le ba Law Society of South Africa. Ha e ka ba hona le ho sa utlwang, hopola o checkela Facebook kapa yona website ya rona. Ke emetse ya hao potso.
Kunzima lapha ngaphandle bafethu ngithi emsebenzini ziyabuya. Yabona uNtswaki uyi-scientist etavile ukuthatha inqumo ekahle empilweni yakhe nokusebenzisa wonke amathuba anikezwe wona. Ophinde futhi ukukhombisa ukuthi uma umuntu kumele ube nesineke uthathe isikhathi sakho. Ngithi kancane kancane, piece by piece, step by step, particles by particles bafethu uzoze ufike la ofisa ufika khona. Speaking of which, sokusikhathi ukuthi nginikeze impendulo khona laphana uword jumble. igama kade silifuna yi-particle. Ngithi sibonge-ke emkhaphazweni bafethu khona lapha ku-social media. Siyabonga ake sibambeni kanjalo. Mina ngumfana kaMntambo ngithi sengidonsa zonke intombo sengiphuma kanje ngithi asihlangane khona laphana ey'nkundleni zokuxhumana bafethu, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and also ama-repeat 11 o'clock. It's a date. Remember, don't look down, look up and stay up. Don't be sad because it's over. Be happy because it happened, because it's gonna happen again next week Tuesday. See you then.